find the live video so I can tweet it out. Okay, and we're live. I think. Am I on the pro desk too? I am. Okay, good. Okay, my name is Patrick Hawe. I am an associated member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA SIPC. All trades placed by myself are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. Please pause the video and read this disclosure. I appreciate it. Thank you. And current position disclosures, I'm currently long DBX, MGI, WE, and INSG. Okay. So day 3 of me probably saying the same thing for the most part today. So we had another rest choppy day for the market. We had 2 days of rest coming into this day today. And basically this morning I was saying, we could start to go again. We've had our couple days of rest, but it definitely could go a little bit longer as well. This ADMA still hasn't caught up to this 475, basically the low of the last couple of days here. And we really want to see that. The shorter term one that I look at, which is the simple 5, has basically caught up. But again, this was just such a big move up, including this day one here, that it makes sense that it takes a little bit more time. This gap between these two moving averages is pretty large, and usually once that, that doesn't last forever, let alone too long, right? So we had another rest day today. The action itself was definitely not easy. So we pretty much opened strong right off the open, then sold right off immediately. This is kind of like a kill bar right here. Typically you'd expect this to bear flag and continue downwards, but instead rallied back up, actually made a new high on the day by a couple pennies, and then failed again and rolled over, and then actually rolled over pretty, this looks pretty violent. And this always happens when we have like a couple of really boring choppy rest days, and then you get like an intraday rollover like this. This looks and feels so violent, and like during the time that it's actually happening, it feels really scary. But you always just gotta keep your daily charts in mind. Does this look that scary? Not really. I mean, this is scary, right? This isn't that big of a deal. So 3 rest days in a row. I guess let's take a look at the other indexes. So IWM with a this looks uglier. Pretty decent rally today. Let's look at the intraday action. Yeah, so really IWM was very strong off the open. That's where the relative strength was, and we identified that pretty early. We were looking at some of these names, whether it's like a Fubo, Peloton, DraftKings, these names that have been beaten up, quote unquote speculative names, whatever you want to call them, or however you want to categorize them. We saw that relative strength pretty early on. And then, chopping sideways all day, that's totally fine. But then rolling over the entire move is not exactly what you want to see for sure. And this seems to be what the IWM does. This index is so, it just can't get out of its own way. Every time this thing tries to go and tries to break out and tries to be the leader, it like always fails. So kind of a failure there for IWM. I mean, we didn't break down. We're not below this 222. We're not below the daily ADMA. So no need to panic yet, but definitely ugly action there for the Russell. And then the Qs are holding this 400. We spoke about this 400 breakout as, this is what the Qs did for their day one. Basically everything had a day one Monday, except for today. Today was day one for a lot of that speculative stuff, but it's not like the IWM showed a day one candle today, so that's a bit tough. That being said, Qs held 400 today, but closed pretty weak. This ADMA on the daily has not caught up to 400, so it's not a perfect line in the sand that Qs have to defend, but, again, not pretty ugly rollover here. Just, you'd think if, since we're so strong early on and pretty well bid throughout the day. You'd think we would be able to keep it better, but we rolled over, so it is what it is. So one day of weakness, one poor closing day, definitely does not scare me. But we'll see how we go tomorrow, right? Like it's not you think the market's going higher, and then no matter what the market does, you stick to that one thought that you had. You have to adjust when the market tells you to adjust and when price action tells you to adjust. So again, I don't think today's a day to worry about or freak out about. I don't think this rollover this afternoon is really concerning at all. But if we start to lose 475 and then maybe tomorrow we test the 8-day, that's not too big of a deal. But over the next couple of days, if things start to change and we start to lose, these breakout levels that we're not supposed to lose, then we adjust our plan. But for now, I still think the market looks pretty good. Our weekly charts, which that's what's more important, right? Like bigger time frames are always more important, so the weekly is more important than the daily. Weekly charts still look pretty good, and daily charts still look okay. Kind of a weak day today, but we're not breaking down key levels either. So I think it can go either way today. I think it can go either way from today. I still lean bullish. I still think things look pretty good out there. But if we get, a couple more weekdays where we break key levels, then I'll change my thought process, because that's what the market will tell me to do. But yeah, that's all I really have to speak about or go over. Most of the plays that we played today rolled over and failed along with the market. So like this AA, we were looking at 60 for AA. A lot of people caught this. This went right away and gave a great move up to over 61. So definitely enough of a move to sell some into. But AA rolled over and failed. Ford, I was looking at this morning after this 2-day break, and Ford, similar but different, went right away, very strong. Should be enough to get you to sell some into, and then rolled over the entire move. Apple 180, same thing. Apple went through 180, was pretty good, enough to at least, I saw like a lot of guys, basically once this hit 50, like the room was just Apple 1-to-1, Apple 1-to-1, Apple 1-to-1. It was kind of funny. But okay move, and then this rolled over completely. Going forward, I think not 180 but 180.50 is what we need to watch. You can see here 180.50, this broke it but then failed 180.50, failed 180.50, and today failed 180.50. So this morning I was looking at Apple 180. I think going forward 180.50 is what we need to watch for Apple's next trigger. And that's all I really got. Semis were pretty weak again today. NVIDIA weak again. NVIDIA took back that 300. I spoke about NVIDIA back through 300 today. NVIDIA took back 300 and then ended up losing it again. And then AMD was just kind of weak all day today as well. So definitely want to watch the Soxel. Yeah, the Soxel 70 I was speaking about. Soxel broke 70, so that's not great, but now it's testing its daily 80 MA, so this could bounce from here, or it could break down further. It's really hard to say. Overall, I think the markets still look really good. I still think this is healthy. I don't think today was unhealthy at all. But if we start to break down further, then I'll adjust. Otherwise, it's just another day for this 80 MA to catch up to this 475 level, and then for us to possibly eventually work higher or not. So that's all I really got to talk about. Oh, I actually need, also definitely worth mentioning, these China stocks. I don't know exactly what the headline was that really got these. People are attributing it to year-end stuff. No one, people say last day of tax loss selling is the last day of the year, and then some people are saying it's yesterday because of T+2 settlement. I still see people every year. I see people say both things. But people are attributing it to end of year stuff for these China names, where no one wants China names on their books. Last day for getting stuff off your books for a regular way settlement was yesterday, and now now that they're off your books and I guess your clients won't be mad that you own China names. You want to buy the China names back. I don't know. But the China names exploded today. And it's funny because someone asked me about BABA in the morning meeting today, and I was like, I don't know, BABA looks like garbage. I wouldn't do anything with it until a signal comes. But then, I mean, you want to see a signal. Look at this volume. Look at that. Like, that's not just one initial opening vault. Like, the first 15-minute volume in BABA, I mean, that's sick. That's sick. So these Chinese names had huge moves today. I think every single name, PDD, Billy, any Chinese name that you want to type up, the Chinese EVs, all had huge moves today. So these can be one to watch going forward. You know, don't be mad if you missed day one, because just scroll back on some of these charts and look at the chart history. And, you know, if this is a real reversal candle, I mean, there's a long way to go back up, right? So we've been waiting for a signal from these Chinese names, and today we might have got it. So these lows, definitely important to watch going forward. Insane moves in these Chinese names. This Neo candle is just insane. The volume just all day today. Look at that. I mean, that's like mind-blowing. That is just insane volume all day today. So yeah, so that's all I really have to talk about today. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But again, it's Friday. Tomorrow it's New Year's Eve. Usually the market is closed for New Year's Eve, either the day before or the day after. It's not this year. But that being said, I'm sure a lot of people are taking the day off tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow, but it's probably going to be a very slow day. So we'll see if today, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be hard for us to get an inside day tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an inside day tomorrow either. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, anything like that, you know, feel free to share them now. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna scroll back up. I'm only on one screen, so I'm using my phone to read this stuff. First question I'm seeing is from Jerry. Hey Pat, was a 955 inside 5 a decent entry for Apple? Yes. I didn't even read the rest of the question yet. I liked it because it was in front of 180 and didn't, because it was in front of 180, didn't take it because it looked like chopping around at the time. I mean, I like it. I remember seeing Apple in the first 5 minutes come up to the 90s here, and I was ready to hit the trigger through 180, and it, you know, came back down. It failed, and then it V-bottomed. It kind of V-bottomed, not super quickly, but you can't really call this anything other than a V-bottom. Back up to highs. So I like that. Like this 170. What is this? 179.60. I like how it's able to get back above its moving average. Like if Apple's gonna fail and break down today, you know, it should probably only be able to bounce back to right around here, the 5-minute ADMA, and then that should push it down if it's going to fail. But instead, it reverses back up. It breaks through these moving averages again, and then it has 5 minutes of indecision here. This 5 minutes of indecision is a 5-minute battle between buyers and sellers. If the sellers win, then this thing, you know, these moving averages end up pushing it down and it breaks back down. But if buyers win, you know, then this breaks up and all of a sudden you got your 8 back above your 21, your 8 is sloped up, your 21 sloped up. So I like it, and because it was I liked it because it was in front of 180 and didn't take it because it looked like chopping around. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get why you didn't take it, but my answer to your question, I guess, is I like it. It's good. I think you could have taken this. I like this. Chingus, so SPY needs to close strong or sideways tomorrow so the weekly can close without a large tail. Yeah, I mean, for the weekly to have a large tail, SPY would need to close near the lows, which is like the weekly lows is 472. So yeah, I mean, SPY would basically have to tomorrow negate nearly this whole move. Come down all the way. It's going to be below the ADMA because this ADMA hasn't adjusted for today yet, I don't think. When we log in tomorrow morning, this is going to be higher. So for SPY to have a huge candle on the weekly, it would need to get below and close below the daily ADMA, which I don't think is going to happen. It shouldn't happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it should. That probably shouldn't happen based on how strong we are. But so yeah, that's right. Let me just reread what you wrote. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to close strong. If we close here, I mean, we closed weak today, right? Like, you guys are asking if, we should be concerned after today. We closed weak today. But look at the weekly candle. I mean, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Nothing at all to worry about here from the weekly candle. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if we negate the entire move tomorrow, then that weekly candle shooting star might be a little bit concerning for another failure. But I don't think that's going to happen. If anything, I think it's probably another choppy sideways rest day, unfortunately. But we'll see. Yeah, I remember, because I think that Apple, that 180 was like 50 cents of risk. So yeah, when Apple made highs, everyone was getting their one-to-ones, being all responsible and whatnot. Also, as of now, QQQ hammer counter shooting star on the monthly. Oh, Rich is getting big on us. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, this is like a continuation pattern. I call it the shake and bake pattern, because like you have a shooting star, everyone gets short, everyone panic sells, whatever, what have you, and then like you hammer back up, so the shorts get stopped out, people have to rebuy. I call that like the shake and bake pattern, which I didn't make that up myself. I took that from someone. I forget who though. But when you see like two candles next to each other, that like here it is right here, like this shooting star, and then it hammers back up. And usually what happens is you continue in the direction that trend is forming. So yeah, good luck there, Rich, on the monthly shake and bake pattern. Someone in the room, chairman. I saw that headline as well. I didn't see it circulating like some of the main news sources I use though, so I don't know. But yeah, I did see that headline as well on the China stocks. Yes, and we discussed the off your book settlement data before it happened. Yes, I remember that. I almost took that trade too. I just didn't because I was managing other stuff. Gotta learn. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to have, like, having a lot of positions like Derek has. Like, Derek isn't, buying 18 different positions off the opening bell. Like, he's been in all of them, and he knows what his game plan is for all of them, and they're not, like, brand new trades where he has a ton of size, and he's trying to get his risk covered in a 20-cent pop or anything like that. So, yeah, it's not easy, but if you have a game plan for your worst case, your best case, your middle case scenario, then it becomes easy because you just, whatever, like, it's almost like you don't care what happens, just follow your game plan, and if your game plan lines you up for good risk reward, then just follow that, and you don't even like have to watch the chart, just whatever happens. Sammy uses that term. Interesting. Thanks, Pat. Gotta run. My son is skating at UBS tonight. Nice. After the game. Nice. That's like the new arena for the Islanders, right? I have not been to that one, but I heard it's pretty nice. That's cool, Jerry. It's looking like I'm getting through everything. Anyone else have any questions or anything? I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a lot, because I thought today was kind of, not too great, especially. But I mean, things at least, that's why if you execute well, you can at least get your one-to-ones and not like, even when things roll over, you could still at least not lose money, let alone hopefully make a little bit of money for yourself. Oh yeah, that's true, Bill. I forgot about that JPM. I mean, the JPM caller roll, like, that was all the chatter today, right? And that was supposed to be super bullish, right? Unless I'm remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that JPM caller roll was supposed to be bullish, and they're supposed to be buying a lot of equities or whatever. And clearly that was not the case at all today. And that doesn't surprise me. I see that all the time with, when something's too known and too talked about, usually doesn't go that way. So we'll see. Yeah, Jared, I mean, it's a slow week. It's a holiday week. A lot of people are taking this week off. I know multiple people in T3 and out of T3 that are taking the week off. So that's why Derek left me to handle you guys. So yeah, looks like I got through everything. I don't really see any other questions coming in, so I guess I'll wrap it up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I mean, we'll see how they gap us. If they gap us down, careful if they gap us down below these lows. But again, we do have this ADMA that's going to be up a little bit more tomorrow, so we'll see where this daily moving average is after we log back in tomorrow morning, and we'll see how they gap us. And other than that, probably not too much to expect from tomorrow. Again, it's New Year's Eve tomorrow. Most people are taking the day off. Usually the market is closed. It's not closed, so I'll be here. But yeah, probably not too much to expect. So we'll see what happens, and if the market tells us to do anything different, then we'll listen to it, because that's what you gotta do. So, cool. All right, good night, everybody, and we'll see you